NFL Week 5 review as we're reviewing all the games here for the Week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. And we'll go over key stats for each game and we'll make sure we'll get you guys updated after a crazy Week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. So thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And hey, baby, you know we got to talk about it first. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in Victory Week, baby. After a big win over the Seattle Seahawks, we feeling good here on Tim Reynolds Show. But a lot of crazy news has been happening since we got done with Monday Night Football. And what a stellar Monday Night Football game we had there in Jacksonville as the Kansas City Chiefs get upset by the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football. And this would kind of be the theme of the weekend where we've seen a couple of blowouts and definitely some comeback victories this past week here in Week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. And guys, of course, we got to start with Thursday Night Football where we did see a big upset here. Maybe not by record, but a lot of people were picking the Los Angeles Chargers to win that football game after all the injuries came out on the injury report for the San Francisco 49ers before this matchup here. So definitely something interesting to keep an eye out on for those 49ers who the Bucs will be facing next week. But in this game, the 49ers were able to come out on top with backup quarterback Mac Jones doing his thing and balling out for the San Francisco 49ers. And it was an epic game for the 49ers offense as we go over that game here on Tim Reynolds Show. The 49ers now improved to 4-1 on the season and 3-0 on the road with a 26-23 victory after we see they get the overtime win here in this one. And going over the game, guys, it was an incredible matchup where we see the stats here. Matt Jones goes 33 for 49 for 342 yards in this game with 2 passing touchdowns. He was only sacked 1 time, but he was under duress all game long here for the San Francisco 49ers. And this game here was an excellent excellent game played by that offense for the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones had his coming out party with this one, a career high in passing yards. He was able to use his legs as well to get around these extra sacks. Like I said, the defense for the Rams only came up with 1 sack in this game. Christian McCaffrey balled out in this one with 22 carries for 57 yards. He also had 8 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown in this game. We did see Kendrick Bourne have a fantastic game here in this one with 10 catches on 11 targets for 142 yards here in this ball game. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Tim Reynolds Show's Week 5 NFL review. And guys, also we seen Jake Tongs, number 88, come in with a good game. I think this was probably his best career game we've seen from the tight end with 7 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown on 11 targets here in this one for the San Francisco 49ers. They did distribute the ball really well in this one as we see 8 different players had targets here in this game from quarterback Mac Jones, who showed off the toughness in this one, really able to keep the 49ers in it all the way to the end. What's going on, Logan, Lighthouse Keeper, TX, what's going on, guys? Thank you for hanging out on the channel. We're reviewing all the games from this past week here in Week 5. So guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any football questions about this past week, make sure you hit me up with the super chats. And also, guys, channel memberships are live now on my YouTube channel, so make sure you guys go check that out as well. And going over the LA Rams numbers here on offense, it was a really good day for Matthew Stafford. 30 for 47 for 389 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes. Back-to-back weeks here for Matthew Stafford, balling out for this Rams offense. But the running back, Kyren Williams, was the guy, unfortunately, here that coughed up the ball late in this game when it looked like the Rams were going into the end zone for another rushing touchdown. This would have gave Williams 3 touchdowns on the day, but unfortunately here, Williams coughs up the fumble, and then that ended up costing the Rams this game pretty much with that fumble there inside the 2-yard line. So Williams finishes the day with 14 carries for 65 yards in this one. Only 78 total rushing yards for the Rams offense in this one. But also we see Devontae Adams finishes with 5 catches for 88 yards in the receiving game. But Puka Nacua, 10 catches on 12 targets for 85 yards and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell looks like a big playmaking wide receiver in this particular offense with 2 catches for 72 yards. Look out for him as a deep threat later on in the season. And Kyron Williams, the running back, also finished with 8 catches for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. An excellent performance for him, especially if you got him in fantasy football. But unfortunately, the turnovers were big in this one for the Los Angeles Rams. Not only with Williams coughing up the fumble late in this game, but also earlier in the game, Blake Corum dropped a pitch from Matthew Stafford, and that was a costly turnover inside the red zone for the Rams. And man, you got to give it to the 49ers, man. They came into this game with a bunch of injuries, and that offense with Mac Jones and head coach Kyle Shanahan calling plays balled out in this one and got the 26-23 victory in overtime against a division rival. Now San Francisco moves to 4-1 on the season, 3-0 on the road, but they're going to have a tough road test coming up next week when they take on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers in what should be an epic NFC battle in this matchup in week 6, where we see the San Francisco 49ers traveling to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there in Raymond James Stadium. So a big victory there for the 49ers. My take from this is that the Rams are still going to be a good team going forward, but they've got to be able to have clutch drives at the end of games and put games away and put teams away, especially on that defense that has a lot of playmakers, and they should have played better in this one going up against a San Francisco 49ers offense that was missing a lot of playmakers here on their offense due to injury. So this is going to be a big question mark for the Rams going forward. Can they use this as a learning lesson and really turn things around here? Or is this show that maybe the 49ers are the best team in their division right now? We'll have to wait and see. And then up next, guys, we get started with our Sunday slate. And you know we got to go over my Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Seattle Seahawks in the afternoon primetime slate. An epic game, a battle between two 3-1 teams. The Bucs on the road, traveling there where the 12th man is in Seattle, one of the toughest stadiums to play in, and man, did we have a thriller there in Seattle. As we go over the numbers here, guys, first, let's go ahead and talk about how the game went here for the most part. So we see in the first half, the Buccaneers take a 13-7 lead at halftime, and now head coach Todd Bowles has got a pretty damn good winning record there at halftime when the Bucs are leading. And we've got a quick question here, actually, in the chat, so let's get to that here first. Thank you guys for hanging out here on the channel. Hammerthrone says, quick question, Tim. Should I start Baker on my fantasy team this Sunday? The 49ers defense looks pretty good. Hammerthrone, I'm going to tell you to start Baker Mayfield as much as you can this season. Right now, the Buccaneers are missing Bucky Irving, and he's probably going to miss this upcoming weekend as well after missing last week's game due to a shoulder and ankle injury. So I'm expecting Baker Mayfield to have to throw the ball around a lot for this offense. And not only that, he's been doing it already all year long. I think he's top 5 right now in passing touchdowns and passing yardage. So, yeah, I would definitely hammer Baker Mayfield on all fantasy lineups this upcoming weekend against the 49ers defense that is tough, but I think that secondary can be had by the Buccaneers offense. So guys, let's go back to our game this past week when the Buccaneers took on the Seattle Seahawks and what I think was probably the game of the weekend here in the NFL. So like I said, guys, I want to go over what happened in the second half here. So we go into halftime, the Buccaneers are up 13-7 here. So we get to the third quarter, and that's where we're going to start here in this one, ladies and gentlemen. So as we see here, at the end of half, 13-7, and then we would see the Seattle Seahawks open up the second half with a long drive of 4 plays and 77 yards, so really quick to get down the field after Sam Darnold was able to find a couple of targets down the field, and Kenneth Walker was able to have a 31-yard run on that drive, and that led to a Charbonnet 5-yard touchdown, and that gave Seattle the 14-13 lead here in the third quarter. Then the Buccaneers have their first drive drive of the third quarter. It's 9 plays, 77 yards, and we would see Baker Mayfield hit a 20-yard touchdown pass to Mbuka, and that would give the Bucs the lead 21-14 after that drive. And then the next drive in the third quarter for Seattle, 6 plays, 80 yards, and a touchdown, and they tie it up at 21 apiece after the Bucs got the 2-point conversion on the last drive to make it a 7-point game instead of a 6-point game. And guys, wow, what a drive, what a response for Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks team. Darnold connects with Jackson Smith-Njigba, who had an excellent game in this one. A 53-yard bomb on this drive set up a 2-yard touchdown pass from Sam Darnold that gave it a 21-21 tie there in the third quarter. And the last drive before the end of the third, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to take it 6 plays, 75 yards, and take a 28-21 lead at the end of the third quarter. And we would see on this drive that Baker Mayfield would be able to connect with Emeka Egbuka for a big gain of 57 yards on this drive, and Emeka Egbuka had a fantastic performance in here, a breakout performance, if you will, in this matchup. And then Rachaad White takes it in for the 1-yard touchdown, and that's what made it 28-21 after 3 quarters. Then we get into the fourth quarter here, guys. The next drive, 10 plays, 51 yards for Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, and they go right down the field and tie this game up at 28 apiece after Sam Darnold was able to do his thing, and he connects with a 6-yard touchdown to A.J. Bardner, the tight end. And then the Buccaneers, unfortunately, would have to punt the next drive, and then Seattle would take the lead in the fourth quarter with another impressive drive, 8 plays, 99 yards, and they take the 35-28 lead in this one. I mean, Sam Darnold was cooking in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. This was an incredible game, back and forth between two of the best teams in the NFC this year. We also see Kenneth Walker do his thing, a big 22-yard run on that drive, and Sam Darnold also found Jackson Smith-Njigba once again for a 22-yard gain on that drive, and that set up a 21-yard touchdown pass to Horton, the rookie wide receiver, and that was on 4th and 2, ladies and gentlemen, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-yard line. So a gutsy call there from Seattle, and then we would see the Buccaneers respond on their next drive as it's a 35-28 game. Baker Mayfield takes the Bucs down the field, and Mbuka was a big target on this offensive drive, a big 25-yard gain down the field from Baker to Mbuka, and also Cade Otton, who had a good day, caught a 25-yard pass on this drive, and this set up Baker Mayfield for an 11-yard touchdown pass to Sterling Shepard that tied the game at 35 apiece. And then the Buccaneers defense would come up with a huge interception as Levante David catches a pick off of a deflection after it bounced off of a helmet from the Buccaneers defensive lineman Logan Hall. Sam Darnold's only mistake of the whole entire game ends up being the Buccaneers turnover that they needed. And guys, with only seconds to go, the Buccaneers marched down the field, and we would see Chase McLaughlin hit the 39-yard field goal with no time remaining, and the Buccaneers get the victory. And now the Bucs are 4-1 all the season, with all 4 of their wins coming in the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. This team is proving to be one of the most clutch teams in the NFL right now. Chase McLaughlin, one of the best clutch kickers in the NFL right now, does it again. Another impressive performance for him, and he actually came up on the injury report at the start of this game, and it was nice to see Chase McLaughlin have a really good game in this one, and the Buccaneers get the victory in a hostile environment over a very tough and very good NFC squad there with the Seattle Seahawks. An impressive performance from both quarterbacks. I mean, Baker Mayfield balled out, but so did Sam Darnold. So we'll go over the Seattle Seahawks offensive numbers here first. Sam Darnold finished 28 for 34 for 341 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, But that crucial interception, unfortunately, really cost them the game at the end there. Kenneth Walker had a great day on the ground with 10 carries for 86 yards in this one. Charbonnet also added 9 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. They ran for 122 yards in this one, which is not normally what the Buccaneers defense give up in the ground game. And the Buccaneers definitely struggled to run the football here in their first game without Bucky Irving. But we see Jackson Smith-Njigba balled out for the Seattle Seahawks offense with 10 catches on 8 catches on 9 targets with 132 yards receiving and a touchdown. We've seen Cooper Kupp with 6 catches for 59 yards and A.J. Bardner with 7 catches for 53 yards and 2 touchdown grabs here in this one for Seattle. And Troy, excuse me, Torrey Holton, number 15, the rookie wide receiver, continues to break out with a nice game here with 3 catches for 39 yards in this one and a touchdown pass. I see the chat's blowing up, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out here on the channel. Don't forget, guys, to please hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. We'll try to get to your guys' comments as quickly as I can. Thank you guys for hanging out on the show. If you guys have any football questions, please let me know with the super chats so I can go ahead and get to those questions right away for you guys. Thank you for hanging out here on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. And guys, for Seattle, a really good performance there from their offense. I think a breakout game here in the receiving game for A.J. Bardner, the tight end, who looks legit in that offense. And I also like Torrey Horton, the rookie wide receiver, had a good game here. But the Buccaneers' offensive numbers, Baker Mayfield finishes 29 for 37, an excellent efficient day for him through the air with 379 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns in this one. We also seen Baker use his legs with 5 carries for 15 yards, able to avoid a lot of sacks here in this one for the Buccaneers offense. Rachaad White, not too bad of a day, 14 carries for 41 yards here, 2 touchdowns on the ground for the number 1 running back there in Tampa. And then we seen Emeka Egbuka, baby, have a breakout game with 7 catches for 163 yards and a touchdown grab in this one. And guys, Emeka Egbuka made NFL history here in this game, as we'll get to that here in a little bit here. But really what was the surprise was Cade Otton had his best game as a Buccaneer tight end this season with a really, really good performance in this one. As we go over the stats here for the tight end, he had 4 catches for 81 yards in this one, averaging 20 yards a catch, so doing really well. And Tez Johnson, the rookie wide receiver, also had a good day here with 4 catches for 59 yards. And then Rachaad White added to his total with 4 catches for 30 yards through the air. And Chris Godwin, who's still working his way back, only 3 catches for 26 yards. And Sterling Shepard with 4 catches for 24 yards and a touchdown here in this ball game. So a good performance there for the Buccaneers. The defense came up with a clutch turnover late in this one, and I really thought that that made the difference in this game, to be honest with you guys. The Buccaneers get the turnover late and are able to kick the game-winning field goal, and that's why they were able to improve to 4-1 on here. But hey, hats off to Seattle. An impressive performance, especially from Jackson Smith-Njigba and Sam Darnold. This offense looks legit for Seattle. Their defense was a little banged up in the secondary, so I think that could play into what happened here in this one, especially with Baker Mayfield going 29 for 33 for 379 passing yards. Now, I thought Baker could have had a couple more touchdowns in this game, but unfortunately for him, the ground game was working well in the red zone with Rachaad White able to get a couple of touchdowns here. But an impressive performance by Emeka Egbuka, and he made some NFL history here that I'm trying to get to on the exact numbers here for Smith-Njigba. And it's impressive to see, too, because he's the first player in NFL history with 25-plus receptions, 400-plus receiving yards, and now 5 touchdown passes, or I should say touchdown receptions, through the first 5 career games in NFL history. This guy's breaking records, and a lot of people are comparing Emeka Egbuka to Jamar Chase. I mean, talk about a good person to be related to, I should say, or compared to an impressive performance here in this one. And as a matter of fact, Jamar Chase has been one of the few guys that can compare to the numbers that we see Emeka Egbuka putting up right now in the NFL. He's definitely a stud guy. He's going to be someone we really have to pay attention to and really work well into this offense going forward. And defenses now are going to have to account for this guy, maybe trying to double team him now, which should set up a lot more opportunities for other guys in this offense. But an impressive win for the Buccaneers. Their defense needs to get a little bit better, but I really do like what I've seen here from the offense. A clutch performance once again, not only from the whole offense as a whole for Tampa Bay, but also Baker Mayfield has put himself right in the MVP conversation this year, not only with the numbers that he's putting up right now, but also with the clutch play from the Buccaneers quarterback. So I really like what I'm seeing there. And then, guys, next up, we've seen a game in London where the Minnesota Vikings were taking on the Cleveland Browns. And we see Dillon Gabriel was making his first career start, the rookie there for Cleveland. And unfortunately, a terrible record continues because he became the 19th straight quarterback to lose his first start in Cleveland Browns' recent history. And man, the merry-go-round of quarterbacks that's happened in Cleveland has been crazy, right? And now we're hearing reports as of today that Joe Flacco, who was the starter at the start of the season for the Cleveland Browns, has now been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. And now, with all the Shedeur Sanders drama, it looks like Shedeur is the number 2 quarterback now there in Cleveland. So if something happens to Dillon Gabriel or he doesn't play as well as the team thinks he can, hey, looks like Shedeur may get his chance. But let's go over this game here. The Vikings get the 21-17 victory after they were able to make a comeback in the fourth quarter and score a touchdown with only 25 seconds remaining. We've seen a really good performance in here from Jordan Addison, who caught that go-ahead touchdown there in the fourth quarter. But he also was suspended, or I think benched, for the first quarter of this game, which was a little confusing. I'm not sure exactly what the case was or why that happened, but he comes out, performs really well, catches the clutch touchdown to give the Vikings the victory here over the Cleveland Browns. And we'll go ahead and go over the Vikings numbers here. Addison finished with 5 catches for 41 yards and that touchdown grab. TJ Hawkinson with 6 catches for 38 yards as well. We've seen Justin Jefferson ball out with 7 catches for 123 yards on 11 targets here in this one. Carson Wentz, not too bad of a game for him. 25 for 34 for 236 yards and a touchdown. But more importantly, no interceptions for Carson Wentz here or fumbles, which is good. And then looking at the running game, not too well of a performance here from Jordan Mason, but he was able to get in the end zone on 13 carries for 52 yards. But how about Cam Akers, guys, on the sort of unique special play that the Vikings drew up? Cam Akers throws a 32-yard touchdown in this one. He connects with Josh Oliver, the tight end, who had 2 catches for 35 yards and that touchdown grab. A really impressive performance here for the Vikings, to improve to 3-2 on the season. And hey, Cleveland, tough of go of it this season. They're now 1-4 on the year. But Dillon Gabriel, pretty good performance for him. 190 passing yards on 19 for 33 throwing the ball. 2 touchdown passes. We also seen Junkins really have a good performance here on the ground with 23 carries for 110 yards in this one. Cleveland had 140 yards rushing in this one, so a good performance on the ground, but not really well through the air for Dillon Gabriel, although he was able to get the Cleveland Browns back in this one in the second half, but the Vikings were just able to finish it out there at the end. David Njoku with a nice performance here with 6 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown, and that's really the only guy to note here in the receiving game for the Cleveland Browns. And it's a tough year for Cleveland. Best of luck for them and their fans the rest of the year, but maybe they finally have found their franchise quarterback here in Dillon Gabriel, but only time will tell. And hey, it's the Cleveland Browns, so I'm sure they'll find some way to mess this up like they normally do. And the big question here for Cleveland the rest of the season is, will they let Deshaun Watson come back and try to be the starter when he gets back from his Achilles tear injury? I'm not really expecting that, but hey, good luck the rest of the year for Cleveland. And as far as Minnesota, this defense is legit for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm saying, guys, I think this defense can carry them the rest of the year. So watch out for Minnesota, especially with J.J. McCarthy expected to come back more healthy here sooner rather than later for the Minnesota Vikings. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Big boy with a donation or says he wants to donate. Appreciate you, dude. Nick, what's going on? Alicia, what's up? Go Bucks, babe. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. What's going on, man? Darren says, where do you rate the Cowboys offense? Darren, I got to be honest with you, man. The offense looks legit for Dallas. I think Dak Prescott is a legitimate MVP candidate this year. Look at that. My boy Intensify is here in the chat. What's up, dude? Hell yeah, Joe Flacco to the Bengals. We just talked about that, dude. A lot of crazy games this weekend. Intensify, what are you doing, man? You want to hop on the channel? I tried hitting up Trucker John, but he was busy. So Intensify, if you want to hop on, man, let me know. We'll try to get you on the channel. All right, guys, so next up here on Tim Reynolds Show, we're going to review the Miami Dolphins taking on the Carolina Panthers. And wow, what a collapse from the Dolphins in the fourth quarter as we see 14 points scored in the fourth quarter by the Carolina Panthers, and they get the comeback victory in this one. 27-24, and what a performance from Rico Dowdle. He had 23 carries for a 206 yards. The Miami Dolphins defense got ran all over this game, man. The defense could not keep up with what the offense was producing. I mean, Miami took a 17-0 lead and like halfway through the second quarter in this one. Now, the Carolina Panthers were able to score 10 points in that second quarter before halftime, and that was crucial for them in this comeback. But scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter and that defense letting Rico Dowdle, who's the backup there for Carolina, to rush for over 200 yards and a touchdown? That was terrible, man, for that Dolphins defense. 3 catches for 28 yards as well for the running back Rico Dowdle there for the Panthers. Xavier Legette with 2 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown as well. And then we also seen McMillan, the rookie wide receiver, with 6 catches for 73 yards in this game. A really good performance for the Carolina Panthers defense, who came up clutch in the second half. Bryce Young, not too bad of a day. He did have a bad interception, but 2 touchdown passes to go with 198 passing yards there for the Carolina Panthers. I don't know what to make of the Panthers as of right now. This was a big upset victory for them, but their defense is not really consistent. Their offense has been a little up and down throughout the year, but a really good win here. And Carolina is going to be a tough team to beat at home. They're already 2-0 at home this season, so definitely a team to watch out for. And then going over the Miami Dolphins, guys. Hey, Tua Tagovailoa balled out in this one, man, with 27 for 36, throwing the ball for 256 yards in this game. 3 touchdown passes, and you would have thought that would have been enough for them just to get the victory based on those numbers. But check this out, guys. 19 total rushing yards in this one compared to 239 by the Carolina Panthers. Guys, they got outrushed by 210 yards. That is crazy when you look at that, man. That is a crazy stat. And Jalen Waddle finishes the day with 6 catches for 110 yards on a touchdown pass as well. Or I should say a touchdown reception. Darren Waller with 5 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. And Devon Achane, an excellent day through the air with 6 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown grab. But he was not good on the ground in this one. And the defense, unfortunately, was not able to come up clutch for the Dolphins as the Panthers get the victory here. And they improved to 2-3 on the season. But now the Dolphins, unfortunately, fall to 1-4 on the year and 0-3 on the road after this loss. And a lot of people are calling for Coach McDaniel's job after this loss here. And honestly, I'm hearing reports from the Miami Dolphins ownership that they were not too happy about this loss against Carolina. Definitely some hot stuff brewing down there in Miami for the Dolphins franchise the rest of the season going forward. And hey, maybe the Carolina Panthers are finally starting to turn things around now. We'll have to see what happens there. And up next, guys, we got another big blowout victory here to go over, one of our first of the day. And this one, the Colts get the victory there in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, 40-6 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, guys, Am I surprised that it's a 40-6 game with the Colts taking on the Raiders? Maybe not. But what I am surprised is that Colts defense came to play, ladies and gentlemen. No touchdowns given up in this one. They basically almost had a shutout if it wasn't for the field goal that the Las Vegas Raiders got and their opening possession or one of their first possessions in the first quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they get another field goal here to get a total of 6 points. And man, the Indianapolis Colts actually took their foot off the gas a little bit in this one because they were doing so well. And even with only 66 rushing yards from Jonathan Taylor, he still had 3 touchdowns on the ground on 17 carries. So an impressive performance here for this Colts team, who now improved to 4-1 on the season and 3-0 at home. That Lucas Oil Stadium home field advantage there in Indianapolis has proven to be a big thing for the Colts here this season. And coming off of a loss against the LA Rams, this was a big bounce back victory for the Colts. And how about Indiana Jones, baby? 20 for 29 for 212 yards and 2 touchdown passes in this one. Anthony Richardson also sees some playing time at the end of this one as well. And look out for Tyler Warren, man. They tried to use him in the passing game as well. This guy's becoming a Swiss Army knife for this offense, just like he was when he was at Penn State in college. As we see here in the receiving game, a good performance for the tight end with 4 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. The rookie tight end is looking like one of the big playmakers in this offense for the Colts. And then we see 96 total rushing yards for the offense. We also see Joshua Downs have a good game with 6 catches for 54 yards in this one. Michael Pittman with 5 catches for 39 yards as well and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor also caught 3 catches for 20 yards in this game to go with his total there. And going over the offensive numbers for the Las Vegas Raiders, Geno Smith, not too bad of a day. 25 for 36 for 228 passing yards, but 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes through the air. Alshon Jeanty had a pretty good game with 14 carries for 67 yards, 106 rushing yards as a team, so not too bad on the ground. Trey Tucker with 4 catches for 62 yards. Alshon Jeanty also had 5 catches for 42 yards coming out of the backfield, so 100 total scrimmage yards in this game for the running back there, the rookie for the Las Vegas Raiders. And that's about it, guys, man. It was a tough game here for the Raiders, who now dropped to 1-4 on the year, and this is not what I'm thinking the Raiders were expecting with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith now at the helm there for the Raiders. And it's going to be a long season for the Raiders, I feel like, here. But how about the Colts, man? You got to give them their credit, man. Give them their due, because right now they're 4-1 in a division that I think they're going to pull away with. I don't know if the Texans are going to have anything to say about this by the end of the year, but we'll find out, man. But this Colts team looks legit, ladies and gentlemen. And then, guys, coming up next, we've seen another big upset here, and, well, maybe not a big upset, but the New Orleans Saints were taking on the New York Football Giants. And, guys, the Giants are unfortunately not able to get the victory here after a great start. They scored 14 points in the first half, but we've seen a strong second quarter from the New Orleans Saints where they scored 13 points, and they get the 26-14 victory after a second half where the defense shut out the New York Giants offense. And it was a tough game for Jackson Dart. 2 interceptions on the day as he went 26 for 40 for 202 passing yards. He did have 2 touchdown passes in this one as he was able to connect with tight end Theo Johnson for 6 catches for 33 yards and 2 touchdown grabs. I'm sure Theo is going to be a guy to look for on the waiver wire for the tight end position in fantasy football. But guys, Cam Scatterbo continues to be the big playmaker in this offense now as the rookie's taken over as the starter there with 6 catches for 45 yards to go along with 15 carries for 59 yards. But an unfortunate fumble for Cam Scatterbo in this one turned into a big gain. I believe a defensive touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, Yep, it was a defensive touchdown for the New Orleans Saints after that fumble, and also 2 other fumbles lost here in this one. 3 total turnovers for the New Orleans Saints defense in this one. A really good performance from them. Going over the rest of the receiving core here, Darius Slayton did have 3 catches for 31 yards, and Wendell Robinson with 5 catches for 30 yards as well, and for this passing offense for the New York Giants. And guys, going over the New Orleans Saints, thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you have any football questions, please hit me up with the super chat so I can get to your questions right away. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show for this this NFL Week 5 review for the 2025 NFL season. And guys, the New Orleans Saints get their first victory of the year as we see Spencer Rattler actually gets his first win as a starting NFL quarterback here in this one, going 21 for 31 for 225 yards and a touchdown in this one. We also see the running game only have 88 total yards. They were outrushed 136 yards to 88, but that really didn't matter. Alvin Kamara with 10 carries for 41 yards to go along with 4 catches for 28 yards for the running back there in New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed showed off the speed, baby, with 4 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown. One of those coming on a long 87-yard run for the touchdown. Chris Olave with 7 catches for 59 yards on 11 targets. He continues to be the number 1 target here in this offense for the New Orleans Saints, and Spencer Rattler, who's not looking too bad, to be honest with you. When you look at the numbers for Rattler, he's throwing the ball pretty well, but it's the decision-making that he's got to get a little bit better at for New Orleans there. And this defense really stepped up for the New Orleans Saints in this matchup here, shutting down a Giants team that just came off of a big victory over the Los Angeles Chargers last week. So they were riding high, and New Orleans gets their first win of the year. Congratulations to head coach Kellen Moore on getting his first win as a Saints head coach here in this one, and hats off to the defense getting the victory here. And a quick turnaround for the Giants next week. And Thursday Night Football, they're going to be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. So a quick turnaround there for the Giants, and congratulations on the Saints getting their first win. And then, guys, up next, we've seen the Dallas Cowboys travel to take on the New York Jets. And ladies and gentlemen, the New York Jets make NFL history, becoming the first team ever to start the season 0-5 with 0 turnovers on defense. And now Aaron Glenn's the new head coach there in New York, and this has got to be a very, very sad stat for the new head coach there for the Jets. But also, he made history himself as a Jets head coach, because he becomes the first Jets head coach in their franchise history to start his coaching career 0-5. So a tough start for the Jets. I do think Aaron Glenn is a good football coach. You did see some fight here from the Jets team in the fourth quarter, scoring 16 points, but the Cowboys here just look like giants in this one, just standing over top of the Jets there in MetLife Stadium for the victory, 37-22. And guys, this game was pretty much over in the first half. Dallas looked unstoppable on offense. Dak Prescott continues to impress this season. As we see here, he went 18 for 29 for 237 yards and four touchdown passes here in this game. Dak Prescott's looking like an MVP candidate this season, guys. That is without a doubt. Williams also continues his hot streak here with 16 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown here for this offense that had 180 rushing yards. So a good performance on the ground there for Dallas, especially with all the injuries that they had on the offensive line. You would have thought this would have gave the Jets an opening to be able to win this game and get their first win of the season. But even with all the injuries, Dallas overcomes it, as we see in the receiving game. Ryan Flanoy, number 19, with a breakout performance here with 6 catches for 114 yards here in this game. George Pickens did have a touchdown grab on 2 catches, but only 57 yards. Jake Ferguson was the main target here in this offense with 7 catches for 49 yards and 2 touchdown grabs here in this one. And Javonte Williams was also able to catch 1 pass for 4 yards and a touchdown to give him 2 total TDs on the day for the Dallas Cowboys, who get the victory and now improved to 2-2-1 on the season, with that tie coming up against the Green Bay Packers a couple weeks ago in overtime. And hey, the New York Jets, we see Justin Fields finishes the day 32 for 46 for 283 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but 5 sacks given up by this offensive line for the Jets against a Dallas defense that has not been very good this year, especially at getting to the quarterbacks here. So the fact that the Jets gave up 5 sacks in this one, I think that's a big tall tale sign of how this Jets team is not playing up to their potential here, guys. It has been a rough start to the season for the Jets. And I don't imagine it getting any easier in the future for them going forward. And Brees Hall had a very good day with 14 carries for 113 yards in this one, 144 total rushing yards in this game for the Jets. So an impressive performance on the ground. Garrett Wilson continues to do his thing with 6 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown grab. We've seen Mason Taylor, who continues to look like one of the top targets in this offense here. The rookie tight end had 9 catches for 67 yards here on 12 targets. And then Brees Hall also had 4 catches for 42 yards here in this one. An impressive performance. And hey, of course, we got to shout out Reynolds, baby. Josh Reynolds, number 83, the receiver there for the New York Jets, had 3 catches for 29 yards as well. Shout out to Josh Reynolds, man. Cool to have a Reynolds in the NFL. That is so awesome. But hey, and it is not awesome to see what the Jets are doing right now. But hey, this Dallas team has got to be considered a real threat now, especially with the way this offense is playing. Now, their defense has got to start getting a lot better going forward. But man, with the way that offense is playing, watch out for Dallas here in the future, guys. And then up next, guys, we got another big upset as we see the Denver Broncos travel to take on the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. And the Broncos come back in this one, scoring 18 points in the fourth quarter to get the win, 21-17. And guys, that defense for the Denver Broncos is legit, ladies and gentlemen. They shut down Jalen Hurts in that second half. 0 points given up in the fourth quarter against this elite offense for the Philadelphia Eagles, and 6 sacks, 6 of them from the defense there for the Denver Broncos. An excellent performance there as the Denver Broncos get the victory and improve to 3-2 on the season with the 21-17 win. Jalen Hurts finishes 23 for 38 for 280 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes. He was sacked 6 times and was not able to use his legs at all with only 2 carries for 3 yards. When's the last time you heard that for Jalen Hurts in a football game lately? And we've seen Saquon Barkley shut down in the running game with 6 carries for 30 yards. Guys, they barely had 11 rushes in this game for 45 yards. So the Denver Broncos shut down that running game and forced Jalen Hurts to have to pretty much win with his arm. And hey, that was able to play dividends down the stretch there for the Denver Broncos. Devontae Smith finishes with 8 catches for 114 yards in this game. Saquon Barkley did have a good day through the air with 3 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown on a long 47-yard touchdown reception. And then A.J. Brown finishes with 5 catches for 43 yards on 8 targets, but not the game I'm sure A.J. Brown was looking for after going on social media this past week trying to vent about not being a big part of this offense. A.J. Brown, unfortunately, is probably going to look to get more yards and catches going forward, but it's then not a good start to the season for the Philadelphia wide receiver. And a big win here for the Denver Broncos as we see Bo Nix finishes 24 for 39 for 242 passing yards and a passing touchdown. He was only sacked twice. A good performance from that O-line there for the Denver Broncos. We also see J.K. Dobbins finishes with 20 carries for 79 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown, rushing touchdown there for the Broncos. We did see Evan Ingram have 4 catches for 33 yards and his first touchdown grab of the year. Cortland Sutton continues to perform here in this offense with 8 catches for 99 yards on 10 targets. He is the legit number 1 target here in this offense for the Denver Broncos. And I think Evan Ingram is starting to now find his groove here with this Denver Broncos team. And they need it too, because he could definitely open up this offense a lot more if he's able to really be a threat down the field there for the Denver Broncos. And this running game is starting to get a lot better for Denver. The defense is legit. So if they're able to not turn the ball over and run the football really well on offense, the Denver Broncos could actually win this division, especially with how bad the Chiefs are looking this year, guys. It may come down to the Broncos and the Chargers winning this AFC West division this year, and I'm not afraid to say that. But a good win there for Denver over Philadelphia. And then up next, guys, not much to go over here with this one because another blowout victory, but this one was in Baltimore as the Houston Texans get a 44-10 victory over the Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I'd see the day where a Baltimore defense gave up as many points as they did in this one. It was a terrible performance all the way around there for this defense here as we see 167 total yards yards on rushing and 250 total passing yards as well. That equals over 400 total yards of offense here for the Houston Texans in this game. A very impressive performance by them in this game, as we see CJ Stroud finishes 23 for 27 with 244 passing yards and 4 touchdown passes here. His best game of the year thus far. Nick Chubb finishes with 11 carries for 61 yards on the ground with a rushing touchdown. Then we see Christian Kirk have a really good performance here in this one with 4 catches for 64 yards in this game, 5 catches for 60 yards for tight end Dalton Schultz, and then Nico Collins with 4 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown as well. And Xavier Hutchinson had 3 catches for 18 yards, but 2 touchdown grabs here in this one. And then Noel also had 2 catches for 13 yards and a touchdown. And we did see in this game that Noel and also the cornerback there, Alexander, for the Baltimore Ravens, got into an altercation here where Noel was trying to get his first touchdown reception, actually keeping that ball for himself as a souvenir, but he did the Ray Lewis celebration, and Alexander took exception to that as a Baltimore Raven and tried to steal the ball from him. Noel did end up getting the ball after the game, but this was just kind of a microcosm of what you've seen the whole night. Like, this defense for Baltimore was ran over and dominated by the Houston Texans offense that, guys, they haven't done much of anything this year. Heading into this game, the only team they beat was the Tennessee Titans. Houston did not look like this good of an offense all year long. And in this one, unfortunately for the Ravens, they ran into a buzzsaw, man. And check this out. When have you ever heard this stat? And it's probably been a long time since you heard this stat. Derrick Henry, 15 carries, only 33 yards on the day, barely averaging over 2 yards per carry. He did get in the end zone, which would help his fantasy football day, but only 44 total rushing yards in this game? A terrible performance from the Baltimore Ravens. Cooper Rush started the game with Lamar Jackson missing this one due to injury, and he had 14 for 20 with 179 passing yards, but 3 interceptions. A tough day there for Baltimore. What's going on, Motown Mitch? And Zay Flowers finishes the day with 5 catches for 72 yards in this one. DeAndre Hopkins with 6 catches for 42 yards. And guys, I gotta wonder, why is D-Hop not being used more in this offense? I mean, he's averaging only like 2 to 4 targets a game. And I don't think that's good here for this offense. This offense for the Ravens just looks out of sync. It's not doing what it's supposed to. This team should be able to run the ball really well and work the quick passing game for Lamar Jackson, especially with guys like Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, who are really good coming out of their routes and coming right off of the line of scrimmage. But man, it's been a struggle for this offense this year. And hey, the schedule down the rest of the season, the second half of the season for Baltimore, is one of the easiest in the NFL. And that's probably the only thing you can really say about the Ravens team right now, because they're 1-4 and they're about to head to face an angry Los Angeles Rams team here. So they could easily be 1-5 here after 6 weeks of the NFL season. Heading into their bye week, that could be a good thing for them because they need to get healthy fast. But man, a tough year for Baltimore. Hats off to Houston. A big win for them in this one. A really good performance from them. Also, guys, after this game, I'm hearing some trade rumors possibly with tight end Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. So something to pay attention to going forward there, guys, for Baltimore, especially if they continue to lose. And guys, we had one of the wildest games in this past weekend of the NFL here in week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. And the Tennessee Titans get the 22-21 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Now, guys, what happened in this one was a running back, I'm going to butcher this dang name, Demicardo, unfortunately, had a long touchdown run that was taken back after he dropped the football, getting into the end zone. The ball rolls out of the end zone. It's a touchback, and it goes to the Tennessee Titans, and they take that touchdown off the board. And after that happened, once we got to the fourth quarter, the Titans were able to get the victory, scoring 16 points in the fourth quarter to get the 22-21 win over the Arizona Cardinals. A big upset on the road, as we see Cam Ward gets his first win of his NFL career. An excellent performance there for the Tennessee Titans. Now, there's not much to really go over here with the Titans offense. We did see Calvin Ridley have a good performance with 5 catches for 131 yards here in this one. But guys, for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, how do you lose this game? Well, I'll tell you how, because we've seen an interception by the Cardinals defense that ended up being fumbled, and when the ball was on the ground, it got kicked around into the end zone, and the Tennessee Titans player fell on the ball. Tyler Lockett falls on the ball, ends up getting the touchdown for the Titans. I mean, it was crazy, dude. What a performance there for the Titans as they get the crazy sort of luck in this one for them to be able to get the victory. And what can you say about Arizona? This is a game they should not have lost. I mean, come on. The Titans came in here not really doing anything to anybody. So honestly, for me, this says a lot more to me about the Cardinals than it does about the Titans. And I really hope that the Cardinals are able to turn things around, because right now, after this loss, I don't know if their head coach Gannon is going to be around at the end of the season. As we see, Kyler Murray finishes with 220 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The defense for the Titans was able to sack the quarterback 3 times in this one. So a good performance here. Michael Carter finishes with 18 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. They did have 3 rushing touchdowns on the day, but that would not be enough, even with Marvin Harrison Jr. having a great performance with 4 catches for 98 yards, and Trey McBride does his thing as well with 5 catches for 41 yards in this offense. And we've seen a big performance here for the Titans as they get their first victory of the year. And then up next, guys, we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And hey, Detroit gets the 37-24 victory in this one. Not much to go over except for Jared Goff. An efficient day once again. 19 for 23, 258 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. But hey, how about David Montgomery getting a passing touchdown in this one to go along with his 18 carries for 65 yards and a rushing TD in this one. A great performance there for David Montgomery, the running back for the Lions. We also seen Jahmyr Gibbs finish with 12 carries for 54 yards as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 8 catches for 100 yards in this one. Sam Laporta with an excellent day with 5 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown grab. Gibbs also finished with 2 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. And Tesla, number 18, the rookie wide receiver, got caught a touchdown grab as well. And so did Brock Wright on that special throw there from Montgomery. Not much to go over here with the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Jake Browning did have 251 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes, but also 3 interceptions, and that's what pretty much cost them the game. We did see 21 points scored in the fourth quarter by the Cincinnati Bengals to make this a closer game than what it was. But honestly, the game was over at that point as we see Detroit gets the victory 37-24 here in this one. A tough day at the office for Browning and Jamar Chase, although he finished with 6 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdown passes. T. Higgins had a good day with 3 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown. But guys, the big news here for Cincinnati, they have now traded for former Cleveland Browns quarterback Joe Flacco from the Cleveland Browns in the division. They're going to send over a 5th round draft pick and get Flacco and a 6th round draft pick in next year's draft. And hopefully this means that they'll have a veteran guy that will be able to come in and help out the Cincinnati Bengals offense. But I'm just surprised the Bengals didn't try to go with a more younger quarterback, or maybe even somebody that might be a little bit better, like maybe a Russell Wilson or even Jameis Winston there with the New York Giants. But a very confusing trade there for the Bengals. Best of luck. This Lions team looks legit, and now with the Eagles losing this week, Detroit's looking like the top team in the NFC right now with a 4-1 record. And then, guys, we got the Washington Commanders taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Commanders get a big win here, 27-10, after the return of their quarterback, Jayden Daniels, and a good performance here for Daniels in this one with 231 passing yards, 1 touchdown through the air. He also had 8 carries for 39 yards, which was a little surprising, especially after he was coming off of that knee injury. But how about Ja'Cory Korsky Merritt, or Bill, as he likes to be called, had 14 carries for 111 111 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He also had 2 catches for 39 yards in this game. An excellent performance there for the rookie running back. Deebo Samuel continues to ball out as the number 1 target here for the Commanders with 8 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown grab here in this one as the Commanders get the 27-10 victory. And hey, Justin Herbert, unfortunately, a tough day for him at the office. 166 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times and was under pressure all day long with those offensive line injuries now starting to add up with the Los Angeles Chargers, and that's bad. But hey, they had a good game on the ground with 155 rushing yards total as a team. But guys, the very bad news coming out of this one is rookie running back Omarion Hampton with 12 carries for 44 yards. Unfortunately, he's going on injured reserve due to an ankle injury that he suffered here in this one, which means he's going to miss the next 4 weeks for the Chargers offense, and that's a big loss there for their running game. Keenan Allen continues to ball out with 5 catches for 58 yards as well in this one. Ladd McConkey gets a touchdown grab on 5 catches for 39 yards, and Quentin Johnson with 4 catches for 40 yards as well. Congratulations to the Commanders. They now improved to 3-2 on the season. A big bounce back win for them after losing to Atlanta the week before. The Chargers, now, no, I don't know what to make of the Chargers right now, man. This team is looking decimated by injuries, and it could be a long season ahead of them if these injuries continue to pile up for the Chargers. And then, guys, on the Sunday Night Football game, we've seen a huge upset as the New England Patriots get the 23-20 victory over the Buffalo Bills, who were undefeated on the season heading into this game. And we've seen Drake May come right down the field at the end of this football game with a 7-play, 37-yard drive, and we would see a game-winning field goal here in this one as we get a 52-yard field goal with just seconds remaining, 15 seconds to be as a matter of fact, and the New England Patriots get the upset victory, handing Buffalo their first loss on the year. Josh Allen finished with 253 passing yards, 2 touchdown passes, but 1 crucial interception as well. He also finished as the leading ball carrier here with 9 carries for 53 yards. James Cook had 15 carries for 49 yards, so 118 total yards on the ground, but a kind of up and down game, especially for Cook running the ball. Dalton Kincaid with an excellent game with 6 catches for 108 yards. Khalil Shakir with 6 catches for 45 yards as well. And that's pretty much it there for the Buffalo's offense. Coleman and Samuel were the ones to catch the touchdowns there from Allen. And how about Drake May? 22 for 30 for 273 passing yards. No touchdowns here. He was sacked 4 times, but used his legs really well in this one to try to avoid being sacked more. And Stephon Diggs with a breakout game here with 10 catches for 146 yards. An excellent win there for New England. A big win to hand the Buffalo Bills their first loss. And then last night, guys, on Monday Night Football, we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Duval, and a big upset victory for the Jaguars here in this one as we get to this performance here for Trevor Lawrence in the offense. As we see at the end of the game, they go down the field and the Jacksonville Jaguars go 7 plays, 60 yards, and Trevor Lawrence ends up falling down at the 1-yard line, stumbling around in the backfield, and he ends up getting back up and running and diving into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown with only seconds remaining, and a big win here in this one for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, an up-and-down game for him, but he did finish 18 for 25 for 221 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 interception, but not as good as the numbers would say. Trevor Lawrence was making kind of bad decisions the whole night, and even on that last drive there where they got the go-ahead touchdown, he wasted about 16 seconds just scrambling around for a 6-yard gain, so that was tough to watch, man. But hey, Jacksonville pulls out the victory here. Brian Thomas with 4 catches for 80 yards in this one, and a clutch catch on that last drive there from a big throw from Trevor Lawrence, probably the best throw of the year for Trevor Lawrence on that last drive of the game. And Travis Hunter with 3 catches for 64 yards in this one, a big big breakout performance for him. And then Patrick Mahomes, 318 yards through the air with one passing TD, one interception. He also finishes with 6 carries for 60 yards and a rushing touchdown. Kareem Hunt had 7 carries for 49 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. But once again, Patrick Mahomes finishes as the leading rusher for this team, and that is not a winning recipe for Kansas City going forward. They're now 2-3 on the season, and they are reeling here in this division. And now Taywan Thornton finished with 3 catches for 90 yards in this one, and Travis Kelce with 7 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Hollywood Brown with 4 catches for 48 yards, but dropped a crucial pass on the last drive of the game for Kansas City that could have possibly helped them out. Xavier Worthy with 6 catches for 42 yards as well in this one. A big win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Week 5 of the 2025 NFL season review here on Tim Reynolds Show, one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. This is Tim Reynolds Show. Now let's go. And guys, we'll get to the comments here real quick. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. I appreciate you guys hanging out, man. We got a lot of people on the channel here today. Appreciate y'all. Intensify, what's up, man? Joe Flacco traded to the Bengals. I know, crazy football week, man. A lot of underdogs won, that's for sure. What's up for real, Kev? I've been shocked every week. There's been BS Niners, Jags, Patriots, Saints, Denver. In week 4, man, everyone. I know, it's crazy to see what's going on here in the league this year, guys. That's for sure. Thank you guys for hanging out, man. Flex says Diggs ran all over him. That's right. Talk about a revenge game for Stephon Diggs against the Buffalo Bills this weekend. What's up, Ty? How you doing, man? Thank you for hanging out. The topic today, Ty, we're just going over all the games from this past weekend and what I'm taking from them. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Motown Mitch? What up, Doe? How's the ladder in the south there doing, brother? We doing fine this evening? U.S. Kings in the North rocking out. Hell yeah. Thank you, Motown Mitch. I appreciate you, bro. Sounds like this day against the Lions. Yeah, man, the Lions are looking legit now after rolling off 4 straight wins after losing their first game of the season. What's on, Skull M? Hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the chat. Frank, what's going on, man? KC still going to 2 Super Bowls. Still going to the Super Bowl. Okay, Frank, I love it, man. I love the confidence in your team. You got to have that, dude. What's up, Kaon? Flacco traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, a big trade that happened here today. We also seen C.J. Gardner-Johnson is now signing to the Ravens practice squad, so I like that for the Baltimore Ravens, who've got a banged-up defense right now. Is Tyreek Hill coming back? No, Tyreek Hill is done for the rest of the season, but going back to the Chiefs, I mean, that could be a possibility next year. I think that the Chiefs would probably explore it, especially Tyreek Hill. I know he'll explore it. And what a game last night, says Jimenez. Yeah, dude, a crazy game for Jacksonville. Believe it or not, guys, that's actually Jacksonville's first victory on Monday Night Football since like 2015 or 2014 or something like that. Might even be longer than now. I think it was 2011. It was 2011. Blake Bortles was the quarterback last time they won on Monday Night Football at home. What's going on? Lefty Green says, what's your take on the Seahawks after the game? Hey, the Seahawks are a legitimate threat in the NFC, man. What a great game from them. Even with their defense being out a lot of starters, they still played pretty well for the most part. That second half was nothing to do with the defense. It was all offenses there for Seattle and Tampa Bay. But I really think Seattle is going to be a legit contender this year, and they could possibly win that division. But right now, San Francisco's looking really good. The Rams are still a pretty good team. So for Seattle, they've got a tough hill to climb there in that division. But I still think that Seattle looks like a playoff team right now, and Sam Darnold is just balling out of his mind right now. So an excellent performance for the Seahawks. So thank you, Lefty Greens, for your comment. Jack says, Eagles, please go back to the Super Bowl. Hey, Jack, best of luck, man. It's only 1 loss for the Eagles. A long season left to go. What's going on, Skull? Hope you're doing well, man. The Buccaneers almost lost that game to the Seahawks. Well, hey, almost losing and actually losing are 2 different things. And for the Buccaneers, I would say they almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles last week, too, and would be the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. So almost can say a lot. But honestly, for me, I think this Buccaneers team is legit. They're 4-1 on the season with all the injuries that they have. I honestly think the Buccaneers are going to get better as they get healthier throughout the year. And honestly, this division's not looking like much, guys. I think Atlanta was supposed to look a lot better than what they have looked right now through the first part of the season. And hey, the Panthers and New Orleans are who they are right now. So for the Bucs, I like the way they're looking. They got to clean up some things here with the defense, especially giving up so many points and so many passing yards. But they're trying to force more turnovers here. And for the offense, they just got to be a little bit more efficient and start running the ball a little bit better, especially with Bucky Irving out right now. So I look forward to it, guys. Lefty Greaves, thanks you, man, for the take. Thanks, man. Loved JSN and Ibuka play. If Myers had missed, if Myers is his first field goal on Wednesday, he's seen overtime. Yeah, Myers, unfortunately, was a little off there in that game. But man, Emeka Ibuka and JSN stole the show, Lefty Greens, in that one. I think it was a really, really good performance by both wideouts. And hey, Ohio State's looking like wide receiver U now, right? I like the Buccaneers looking, says Jimenez. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. I really appreciate you guys for this Week 5 review here for the 2025 NFL season right here on Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys for everyone hanging out here. Make sure you guys hit me up in the comments with any takes that you guys may have from this past week here in Week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. And let me know what you guys thought of this video. Make sure you look back on it, leave a like button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, football fans, for hanging out here on one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. This is Tim Reynolds Show. Now let's go. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you guys soon here on the channel. Make sure you check out more of my NFL content throughout the 2025 NFL season and all my live play-by-plays for all NFL primetime games this year and Tampa Bay Buccaneer football games throughout the 2025 NFL season. Peace out, everybody.